Hi, this cat is called consecutive strings. What do we have to do? Well, we get a list as an argument and an integer, and we have to return the first longest consecutive string. What do we mean by that? Well, let's have a look at this example here. As you see, we have a list and an integer of 2. So what we have to do is to concatenate the strings within the list with the length of 2, as you see here. So we iterate through it and we concatenate them, and then we have to return the first consecutive string based on the length. As you see, falling trashy is the first string which has a length of 12. Hence we have to return falling trashy. Are there exceptions? Yep, as you can see, if the integer is 0 or less, then we have to return an empty string, and the same applies to the length of the string. If it is more than the integer which is given, then we also have to return an empty string. Let's go. First of all, we start iterating through the list. So for index and then in the range of the length of the list, let's print the indices and the individual elements, which we access through the square brackets and the index. Yeah, indices from 0 till 5, and we print all the individual elements. But what we have to do is to use slicing. On the left hand side, we indicate the start. Then we use a colon, and on the right hand side, we indicate where to stop. Obviously, we have to follow the index. So the first iteration, we print from the index till the index. Then we have an empty list. So on the right hand side, we should add up the integer. We have to print out the first two elements, 3 and falling, from index 0 till index 1. And it stops here at trashy, index 2. The next iteration, we print from index 1 till index 3, which is blue. So the next iteration will include falling and trashy, as you can see here. And so on and so forth till we get till the end of the list. But this is actually a list and not a string, a concatenated string to be precise. For that we can use the join function. So we use join and put in the entire slice list as an argument. Yeah, and that is actually what we need, as you can see here. And of course we need the length of it. But let's start with this method and assign this to a new variable. Let's call it combined string, for example, is equal to the slice string, the concatenated string. Let's print them out. Yeah. And from here we can also access the length property of the combined string. So we use LAN and we put in the combined string as an argument. That looks like a valid method. So we have to do something with this length property. Let's assign a new variable, result, for example. That is an empty string. And what we have to check out if the length of the combined string is more than the result. If it is, we should replace the result by the combined string. So again, if the length of the combined string is more than the length of the result, in such a case, we replace the result by the combined string. Let's print the result, check it out. So we get 3 falling and falling trashy, and this is the final result. If we return the result outside the loop. Falling trashy, as expected. Well, let's have a look at the exceptions to the rule. Let's have a look at the first one. If the string has a greater length than the integer, then we have to return an empty string. So if the length of the string is more than k, then we return an empty string or the result, which is already an empty string. And the other exception is the following. If k is less than or equal than 0, then we return an empty string as well. That doesn't quite work out. Let's have a look here. Oh, this one is actually causing the problems. If the length of the string is more than k, then we return an empty string. Oh, this should be the other way around, if it is less than the integer. Yeah. Well, that should work out. Let's check out an empty string. That returns an empty string. And if we put in 15 here, for example, that should also put out an empty string. Yeah, works out like designed. Well, let's test it out. Attempt. And there we go. Hope this has been useful, that you learned something from it. I'll thank you for watching and hope to see you in another video. Ciao.